that human being, that person, that glob of flesh there, lying there trying to be a human being. These are not my glasses. I needed very wide glasses that for the so that it doesn't touch, because I've got this kind of what do you call it, Frankenstein-like scar that goes from, I'm not even sure, I think up here all the way up there, and these kind of little metal bits of the sutures. But what's happened is that it's very dreamlike in a way that I had to take a kind of sleeping tablet. It's around 2:30, and I must have taken that at about 3 hours ago, which is definitely the biggest stretch of sleep I've ever had. Honestly, for since this entire thing began a fortnight ago or so, and so I'm not used to being in that state, and so I was lying here in the dark, and it was as if I was in a outside, asking somebody to do something very, very simple. And I'm not going to go into the details because it's just like a dreamlike state, but it was as if I was just absolutely freezing and unable to help myself but to ask somebody to help me, who would then, instead of just doing it or enable for me to do it myself because I was unable, I asked somebody who made everything into a really big deal. Suddenly my dream was able to translate into me realizing that I needed help. And I realized that I almost felt like a newly created earth, where after the word, which was really made the whole thing possible, after the word came light and heat, and the correct balance of light and heat made all the difference to the quality of my existence. I existed, but I existed in isolation, separation, and tremendous discomfort. And being able to find that, and then the person who came was, for me, one should never have favorites, and it would be wrong to say my favorite, but I have a very special connection with this woman. She's from the Philippines. Her name is Esther, which is so amazing because there's Queen Esther in the Jewish tradition on Purim, and it's what every girl wants to be on Purim. And she is Roman Catholic from the Philippines, and our spirits just connect effortlessly and naturally and effortlessly. And then the fact that she appeared, and something like making a bed, getting up, going to the toilet, I was able to do that, but getting up and, and her fixing the bed, because these blankets, it's not, it's a hospital, so it's a very different thing, and they're made out of cotton, and there's many layers, and anyway, she's just able to do it. Plus, we have a legal disclaimer we had to sign the first day to allow us to have something that is generally forbidden, which is a hot water bottle. How she got this hot water bottle filled so quickly, and all these layers of blankets sorted out, and me getting back in here, I feel that I feel like a kind of new Earth planetoid kind of thing that went through a sort of crisis of existence, or having to re-exist after some kind of a big cosmological change in circumstances that that was going to I was going to become like a little dead star. Anyway, the hot water bottle and this thing, covering the face in a certain way, and just the comfort of the whole thing. I'm now lying on my side, I think, for the first time since this operation, and possibly from before that, because I know that when I was lying on my left side, I was actually, my mind was creating some very unpleasant, almost like hallucinations of a morphing of between like an insect and flesh-like object that was morphing shape all the time. And I thought maybe it was the tumor revealing itself to me in some kind of a view, that it had like a face and nose and skin, but it was constantly changing. It was actually rather unpleasant. So, but all I had to do was then sleep on the, turn and sleep on my right side, which is where the tumor was. But anyway, all I can tell you is the difference between physical discomfort and physical comfort, provided so quickly, lovingly, without having to be ashamed or without feeling like one is too much. Just such graciousness and such efficiency and such. It takes my breath away. I'm so grateful. And of course, this medicine I'm taking makes it so difficult to keep my mouth shut. So I would love nothing more than to tell her in the most kind of potent religious words that she has just performed what for me is feels like an absolute miracle. An absolute miracle. And I think what I'm going to do is try desperately hard to slip back into a sleeping state. My mouth is very, very dry. Hold on a minute. Oh, dear. But again, I feel like a newly created cosmological matter that had a bit of a difficult start, and then the grace of God descended, and it's all going to be okay. I will be taking my place, floating into a sea of nothing, which is everything. And I hope that something happens to ignite my heart, because I really did feel like I really felt like something so fundamental. I have now such unbelievable compassion. Let's say empathy, an uncomfortable empathy, really, for anybody who has to sleep in a box at night in a city. This, in our present day, with the wealth and ability that we have, nobody should ever have to withstand such a very, very, very challenging. They endure such a fundamentally, primally challenging set of circumstances, and I'm so sorry that so many people do. And I walk by with complete lack of consciousness and see people lying on boxes and things when I go into work, go around New York, around London, and I'm so sorry that I really, really hope that one of our most basic needs is, actually other needs cannot even be received when one does not have warmth and shelter. So we must really try to do so much. I will, when I stop this, I will just close my eyes and pray that for all the people who are feeling alone and forgotten and cold, and may the whole of humanity learn that it is our holy duty to make sure that all creatures who are in physical bodies need the basis of shelter and warmth and light. We really can do so much better than we do, and we are in a kind of illusion. We delude ourselves about it. But, I guess Earth is being created every moment, and we are, we have a big responsibility. So I'm going to contemplate that a little bit in a bit more silence than I've been able to muster. But I realized that it actually is quite an important realization, not just a little what I thought it was. It's actually very important, and it makes I must make an oath to do more there. It's such a simple thing. I know I give money to certain charities and St. Mungo's and, this homelessness business, and especially with vulnerable children and women. I know it sounds sexist, but when I see a woman out on the street or a teenage girl out on the street living in a box, sitting on the side of the road, it is, I think that maybe it's the greater vulnerability of the young and female body, but for anybody and anybody at all. I really don't want it to sound like that. But it's always so surprising when it's a girl. And it's something in our society that's, so we cannot turn our backs on this anymore. And I make a sacred vow now to promise to do more than I have done. I know I've been doing I earn very little, and I support, I think 6 charities, but not enough. It's not enough. I must do more. I've been given so much in London, beautiful flat that I can afford. It's truly a gift from God, and I really want Dorothea to see this, because we've been given something so amazing. And Mrs. Tweedy said, come closer. She was in favor of the flat. She almost came to the flat, but then she had a fall, and she never got to see it. But we brought Emily there. She said to me, some people need a man, and you need an animal. I hope that nobody understands this wrong, because I really do understand what she said, but I don't really want to explain it right now. But she said, you need an animal to live, and you can have a cat. And we went looking all over, because I'm such a dog person, and I always call her my little doggy and my little puppy, but she is a cat, and it took me a long time to love her as much as I really wanted to love her, but my goodness, it has been achieved. And we looked all over, and Dorothea's idea of a of a wonderful cat, and we went to Mayhew Home, and we went to Battersea Dog and Cat, and we ended up finding her in the rescue center of the RSPCA in South. I forget what you call the place. It's an Indian neighborhood that's not on the tube. It's very far. Southall. And she'd been rescued she'd been found in an air duct in a school. So she had been rescued there. And it was just Emily, and they always said little things, you know, and there's some kind of posh little cats there. And it just said, nice cat. That was it. And we got Emily. And, you know, she's now 15, more than 15 years old. This was in 1990, September 1998. It was, no, she was born in September. No, sorry, we got her in September 1998. She was born, we think, in February. I think it was very important for me to have an Aquarian cat. And she had been starving, you know, found in an air duct in a school, kind of like the circumstances that I'm talking about. So her physical comfort has always been of such tremendous importance. Of course it is to everybody, but now I have to say that in a way, I guess, I feel like Emily. I really understand Emily. The anguish that, I don't know, she was probably, they think, about between 6 and 7 months old. And especially in the last few months, something happened to our relationship, and our love was really sealed. Was really, really sealed. You know, believe me, I always thought I was a dog and have no cat nature. On the contrary, I have even more cat nature than I ever realized. But I also realized more about the cat nature, and also tonight. And I bless you, Emily, tonight. And I think that animals are one of the greatest gifts of God, especially these ones that human beings have been living with for so many millennia. And if I could have a little, if I could have Phoebe or Daffodil, or Emily with me right now. Emily, you know, is not the cuddling type, but whenever we do have that, I can't tell you how much it means to me to lie next to a sweet little animal. I love dogs so much, and I love cats so much. I love all animals, I really do. And it's one of the lonelinesses that I had in my family. My mother and I shared it. My dogs absolutely, completely loved my mother. And I think I have to save that for another time. But when, you know, this summer, there was a pack of stray dogs, and they'd follow her as if they were, it was like the Pied Piper or something. They just loved her. And I've always known I have to have, I can't live without an animal. To me, a home is no home if there's no animal there. And I wish I could have many. I would be like Oprah. I would have, you know, a whole table full. Everybody would have his and her own chair. I just love them. And dogs and cats really, I mean, all the animals, of course, but dogs and cats are the special companions in life of human beings. And that's another gigantic change that Dorothea made, because these were wounds for her when she was little, and it's something that, you know, we have our problems, but I think that the other person who really meets me in this completely is Elizabeth. Elizabeth and I have very many links. They have been messed up. They are going to be healed. I know it. But her love of animals is different than mine. It's coming from a different angle, from a different experience, but we both have it to the max. We really do. And the fact that Daffodil was able to be buried in Mrs. Tweedy's garden meant everything to me, especially after what happened with Phoebe, having the death of a criminal in quarantine and being cremated before I even knew, assuming that she had, it was ridiculous. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it anymore. I just want to say that Phoebe and Daffodil and Emily, and of course, I'll mention Humboldt. These are tremendous, and Carrie, just tremendously important relationships of my life. And Emmy, my cousin Marion's dog and I have a link that is, it's breathtaking. It's just truly a gift. And, I can be away for a year or whatever, and that we just have something. It's unbelievable. And that is one loving little sweet, beautiful dog. I had to really break through so many, because I don't believe in pedigreed animals at all. It's a big thing in the play, actually comes up. I think it's like ethnic cleansing, but my God, I love that dog. I really do. And I love her. And Phoebe and Daffodil, when I ever go into another realm, I hope that we can see each other again. So God bless you all. Heat, warmth, shelter, and animals. A little tiny short story from the night, and I'm going to shut this off and try to sleep. God bless you.